we have a lot to discuss.
Baby, you're crazy. 'Cause baby, you're crazy.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another Lukeovision video, and welcome back to a brand new Eurovision 2021 video. And in today's video, I am shooketh to the core. I am wearing this emoji shirt because I swear to God, I felt every one of these emotions last night. We are going to be talking about semi-final 1, and I'm going to be giving you my initial thoughts and reactions to everything that happened last night. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen semi-final 1, how do you have that much restraint? I am jealous. Then here's a warning, spoiler alert. So guys, how this is going to work is I'm going to go through each country and give you my initial thoughts and reactions to their performances. I'll give you my shock non-qualifiers, I'll tell you the highlights for me, and I'll tell you who my faves were. And obviously I wasn't allowed to vote in semi-final 1, so I'll be giving you the top 3 of who I would have voted for. Also, I'll be giving you some of the opinions of my friends who only watch Eurovision once a year on the finals, for a completely neutral point of view. So let's start at the beginning. Enough chat, let's chat. I have my notes ready, guys, and I am ready to rumble. Let's do this. Okay, kicking the show off, we had Duncan, Lawrence and Armin with their track Feel Something. And funnily enough, I've already reacted to this song on my channel already, and if you click that link at the top there, it will take you straight to that video. But spoiler alert, I absolutely loved it. So to see them perform this live was an absolute treat. He did it so incredibly well. And even though it was only a snippet, it was a great homage and a great kickoff to the competition. Again, the red and black aesthetic is everything. Acts this year are either using red and black or purple. That's a funny looking rainbow. I just love that it showed you Duncan Lawrence in his element. He came back, his artistry has really grown. He looks so hipster quirky. I am here for it. And I really hope he gets the backing and the support that he deserves. Okay, moving on, and if you've been living under a rock for the past year, you still would have heard about this. So, there was a little thing going around called Corona/COVID, and due to this, a lot of things have been very, very different this year, and one of which was the postcards. And do you know what, guys? Considering everything that's happening around the world, I am so impressed with what they have done. The Netherlands sure know how to put on a show, and I absolutely loved the personalisation of it all, how they had little houses and little trinkets and little bits and bobs within these glass houses that really showed you who the artists were on the inside and their inspirations and influences and just a little taste of their personality. I think it works so well, and it was a tiny little way of getting to know a little bit more about an artist. Now it's time to move on to the performances, and my goodness, guys, everybody was on form and on point last night. But kicking off the contenders, we had Lithuania. My goodness, they brought the energy, the enthusiasm. It was bigger and better than ever. They owned the stage, and the stage is huge. I was a little bit worried that they might be swallowed up, but not a chance. The crowd absolutely went wild for them, and rightly so. They deserved every inch of that applause. Also, it was really nice to see the different camera angles and the camera play. I absolutely loved how they went right up to the camera and used it as if they were filming themselves. You know, there was a lot of this going on, like they were really controlling the camera. Apologies if you just felt seasick. Next up, we had Slovenia, and Anna really delivered. Her voice is so amazing, so rich, so deep, so smooth. However, the running order really did not do this song justice. The staging was so lovely. It was glorious. I loved all of the lighting. I loved the screens. She was a force to be reckoned with on that stage, but unfortunately, the energy was zapped and it did become very forgettable. If this had a different placement, this would have been an absolute moment. And I feel like it could have stolen the show. Alright, next up we had Russia, and Manisha really brought back the vibes. That funk element and the fun and the playful side of her personality really shone through. And a lot of the audience members, I feel, are really going to start relating to her as a person and as a personality, as well as being such a great songstress. What worked really well and really spiced up this track was the different genres and all of the different twists and turns that the song really goes through. From the chanty moments to the rap kind of moments, and the playful talky moments too. And also, I was really shocked, and I absolutely loved how she had a screen full of other women. It really brought home what the message was. Russian women, and every woman really should just be themselves. Don't be put in a box, don't be labelled. Be you 100%, and it is a message that should be preached around the world. And I'm so pleased she used this platform for such an important message. Right, then we moved on to Sweden, and I must say, in comparison to the tracks that we had seen so far, I did feel that it fell a little bit flat. Poor Toussaint, I feel like his vocals started to crack a little bit at the beginning. You could really hear the nerves in his voice. But throughout the song, he brought it back and he delivered 100%. Loved the staging, loved the message of the song, but unfortunately, it was just a bit stagnant for me compared to the other tracks. And believe it or not, it wasn't actually one that my friends enjoyed either. Considering they hadn't heard any of the songs, they thought it was really dull and boring, which really surprised me. Okay, next up is Australia, and what I wrote down here is my heart really is with Montaigne, and I hope she gets through. I really started to sympathise with her because bless her heart, she wanted to be there. She really wanted to be there, and the performance was good. I enjoyed it. I just feel like because it was a pre-recorded thing, it played on the audience's mind. I think it's a good, fun, playful bop. Unfortunately, not a lot of other people saw it that way. I love the colour play, I love the effects used in the video, and if it was a personality contest, she would win because she's such a quirky and fun-loving character. Right, next up is North Macedonia, and what a vocal! My goodness, he smashed it out of the park. All of my friends were saying how much they adored his voice, but they thought the song was really dull and boring, and I do see where they're coming from because he sounded like he was miming. Obviously he wasn't miming, don't come for me, but it sounded like the studio version. It was flawless. I just feel like Vasil really needs a song that shows off his personality because he is wacky and kooky and crazy, and that's what I love about him, but the song didn't show off his personality. I think it was great for him to sing about something that was really passionate, he felt really deeply connected with, but he really needed a song to make him stand out, and this just didn't, unfortunately. Dotta is shook, and she is on the phone as we speak. Okay, next. Ireland. Now, I've had a little bit of a love-hate relationship with Ireland and maps. At first, when I first reacted to it, I thought it was okay. It was a catchy little bop. It wasn't at the top of my list, but it wasn't at the bottom. Then it started to grow off me a little bit. Then I saw the staging in the rehearsals and I was hooked. I felt like I'd been converted. And yesterday was no different when I saw it all come to life. It was great going through the forest. She really made a narrative on stage. And I don't know what it was about it that didn't connect with the audience, but something wasn't there. And part of me feels like it might be the vocals. She was very breathy and I feel like the music kind of drowned her out. It wasn't atrocious, it wasn't awful. She had a lot to be getting on with. Unfortunately, her voice suffered. It was one of the best vocals we have seen from her, let's not lie. But compared to the other artists, I feel like people probably looked at her and thought she was a weak link. Maybe that was it. Production and staging, in my opinion though, on point. I loved it. Next up was Cyprus, and guys, I've got to tell you, this was my favourite of the night. Elena really pulled it out the bag. Her vocals were stunning. She sounded exactly like she does on the CD. Download, file, whatever it is. A lot of people in the fandom were saying that they didn't think her vocal was going to be very good. She smashed it. She absolutely worked her butt off. The staging was immense. I love how she started laying on the floor, and let me tell you, it is not easy to lay down flat on your back and sing like she did. Her attitude and personality really came through. She was a queen. And again, with a red and black theme, it does suit the theme of the song though, so I'll allow it. But the dancers and the makeup and her costume, everything was perfection. And I'm not gonna lie guys, I got winner vibes. Next up, Norway. Loved everything about it. You guys know that I absolutely love the staging for Tix and Fallen Angel. A lot of people think it's cheesy and cliche. I thought it was amazing. And guys, the moment where Tix took his glasses off, I got goosebumps. That was so strong and so powerful. And props to Tix. What an amazing person to really use that platform to put out his story. And I think it will really help a lot of people out there. It really was a moment, but I'm in two minds. I don't know if I felt that because I know his backstory, whereas a lot of other people that probably were watching for the first time saw him took his glasses off and they kind of thought,
okay, you have eyes.
Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you don't know his backstory, you don't know what a moment that was. Next up we have Croatia, and this was the biggest shock for me of the night. What the actual hell? I thought she was a surefire hit to qualify and go through to the finals. Her vocals were on point, the production on point, staging incredible. I love that she had an army of dancers. She actually looked like a polished pop star who just popped into Eurovision to give a little performance. It looked that slick and that professional. The only thing I would say didn't work in her favour was that the backing vocals in the choruses were quite loud, so her vocal kind of slipped in with those a little bit, but it wasn't a massive issue. Staging was neon and bright and vibrant, so Albina wins shock of the night for me for not qualifying. A song I love from Croatia not qualifying. Why does that sound familiar? Hashtag justice for Rocco. Do you feel my pain now, people? Then we had Belgium, and guys, I was obviously listening to something completely different to what the entirety of Europe were listening to, because this was the toilet break for me. I knew what to expect, I'd seen the rehearsal footage, and when I saw the majority of this performance, there was nothing new there for me. Yes, it was creepy and a little bit harrowing, and it was quite different, it had a different vibe to the other songs, but it was it didn't take off for me, and I was sure that it was a non-qualifier. But I will give it to them, the song is a grower. I do like the song, I was just absolutely sure it was a non-qualifier. But I am really happy for Hooverphonic and for Belgium. It is a moment to be proud of, and I am pleased for them. And I also love that they stayed true to themselves, and they kept their whole band aesthetic, and they did exactly what they would do at a normal gig, and kept it the same on stage, just in a bigger platform. Then next up we had Israel and Eden. What an absolute goddess. I was so proud of her. She is such a little pocket rocket. She was dashing around that stage. Loved the choreography, a happy little skip she did. Her hair was immense. The whistle notes were fan-freaking-tastic. She pulled them off without a hitch, and that little face she did. Like, no problem, here's a whistle note, like it was nothing. She also utilised the entirety of the stage. She was on the big stage, she used a little runway, and then she used the little stage as well with an LED screen. She made the most of it. She put so much effort into that, so much work, and that costume reveal was great. And I'm absolutely over the moon that the audience did not associate her with the political issues that are going on at the moment. I'm glad that they could see music and politics were two different things last night. I'm proud of the public. Also, it needs to be said that Eden's vocals were one of the most isolated out of the whole competition. You could really hear her raw vocal more than you could the backing track. And apparently her whistle note is the highest note ever sung in Eurovision history. That's facts on facts. Right, next up we had Romania, and I was low-key shocked that it didn't qualify, but at the same time, I wasn't too surprised. I don't know how that works, but it does in my head. It was a little bit messy, don't get me wrong, but that's what it was. It was meant to be raw, emotional, and really show her vulnerable side. She was getting dragged along the stage. And to be fair, guys, people are complaining about her vocals. She was doing a lot of contemporary things. She was getting dragged by her feet along the stage. She was getting pushed around, and she was still picking up that mic and still singing. She was breathy, but I understand the aesthetic of the song and the message. Unfortunately, the audience didn't see it that way. It was very visually stunning, but some of my friends thought it was a little bit too try-hard. I just think it wasn't commercial enough. That's the issue. Then we have one of my biggest surprises of the night, Azerbaijan. Guys, when I saw the rehearsals, I thought, nah, not for me. I think it falls flat. She really pulled it out the bag. The last 30 seconds of that song blew up. The crescendo of the music, the constant builds, the pyros, the big snake, her vocals, the choreography, all got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It was flawless, to be quite honest with you, and I'm so proud of Effendi. Then we had Ukraine, and they delivered what everyone in the fandom would expect. On-point vocals with the white voice, sounded exactly the same as the studio version. They had a lot of personality, even though they were very deadpan. That's what their aesthetic is, that is their style, and I thought it was great. The backdrop, guys, and the staging was absolutely crazy. There was so much going on, but it was great. I couldn't take my eyes off of it. My dad actually said,
Do you know what, mate? The staging's a lot better than the actual song is.
Yeah, he didn't get it. I actually wrote down here that there is so much going on that it feels like I'm on drugs. I mean, I was drinking last night, but I don't do drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. But the applause they got, the audience loved it! And damn right they should. Last but not least, we had the Queen. Queen Destiny, Malta. Yes, she slayed the hell out of that performance. The visuals were so engaging. How they did like half a screen, lots of different shots. When you've got the music video as vibrant and as fun as Je me casse is, You do worry how they're going to translate it to the stage, and from the rehearsal clips you couldn't really see a lot, but they really did deliver. There were almost different scenes going on with the different backdrop colours. It was fun, it was bubbly, it was vibrant, it was fresh. Her attitude really came through, you could see the passion in her, and her vocals blew the roof off of that place. I think with the colour pop, it does kind of remind me of Malta Chameleon with all them different colours in the background, but it really stood out a treat, and closing the show, wow, that did her every favour. She didn't need it, let's be fair, she could have performed second and still qualified. But overall, it's the most commercial and definitely the song you would hear in the charts out of the lot. So, if the White household were to have voted last night, guys, we weren't eligible, but if we were, my dad would have given 12 points to Lithuania, 10 points to Cyprus, and 8 points to Azerbaijan. My mum would have given 12 points to Cyprus, 10 points to Lithuania, and 8 points to Malta, which is really surprising to me because before, Lithuania was ahead of Cyprus in her top. But after last night, nope, switcheroo. And I'm not gonna lie, guys, I did the same. I gave 12 points to Cyprus, 10 points to Lithuania, and 8 points to Israel. I was so incredibly pleased and happy and proud of all of them. I feel like they're all my children, and I just want to see them succeed at life. But guys, now here's the doozy. Here is the order of which these acts got revealed, and I was sitting on the edge of my seat the entire time. I can literally go through my reactions with you right now. Norway. No! Israel. Yes! Russia. Yes. Azerbaijan. Oh! Malta. Duh. Lithuania. Oh, yes! Cyprus. At last! Sweden. Oh, okay. Belgium. Ukraine. Hey! And here are some moments that really stood out for me, guys.
This one is E, this one is B. Eurovision, Eurovision, Eurovision.
Actual geniuses. So my shock qualifiers for semi-final 1, definitely Belgium. Definitely Norway, even though I was so happy that he did. And Azerbaijan to an extent. And my shock non-qualifiers go to Croatia. She totally deserved to qualify. And Ireland, just for that staging alone. Also guys, it needs to be said, if you were not in the UK and weren't watching from UK television, count yourselves lucky. With moments like this.
I gave my heart to El Diablo. El Diablo translates to church.
Yeah, El Diablo translates to church. I fell in love, I fell in love, I gave my heart to the church, Also had Eurovision legend Cheryl Baker from Bucks Fizz around 40 years ago who won for the UK. And here are the acts that she didn't think would qualify because she really didn't like them.
That's Lithuania, I didn't like it at all, so I hated the song. Russia, I mean, I might be completely wrong, but I don't like the ones that are just a bit too far-fetched for me.
No words. I mean, everyone's entitled to taste, but a Eurovision legend, come on now. You should know the quirky ones are gonna get through. So there we have it, guys. That's that. They were my thoughts on semi-final 1 for Eurovision 2021. Overall, none of the acts disappointed me. My only disappointment comes from the non-qualifiers and the really bad voiceover and narration from the UK.
Employ me, I will do it.
And I need to mention at the very end when they were doing the recap, I said to my family, okay, now pay attention and listen to the recap and tell me which ones are your fave. They just spoke over the entirety of the recap. They better not do that for semi-final 2 because my parents need to know who to vote for. Spoiler alert, Finland. And in a nutshell, without a shadow of a doubt, my favourite of the evening was Elena from Cyprus, El Diablo. What a moment. She stole this show in my eyes. And yes, you can come at me with,
it's just a Lady Gaga ripoff.
But taste is taste. I don't feel. So let me know down below in the comment section, guys, what you thought of semi-final 1. Who were your favourites? Did anyone surprise you? What were you disappointed about? Did you have a shock non-qualifier? And did you have a shock qualifier? Let me know everything. I can't wait to see what you guys had to say. But if you loved semi-final 1 and you can't wait to see my thoughts on semi-final 2, please hit that thumbs up button, that subscribe button, and that bell notification button. That way you can stay up to date with all of the videos that I have coming out on this channel, and I'd hate for you to miss out. But that's all from me today, guys. All I want to say to you is happy Eurovision week. Enjoy it, guys. You deserve it. Take care, look after yourselves, stay safe, and I'll see you in the next one. Now take care, everybody. Goodbye.